Hi, welcome to Grampus Chats, where we talk all things Grampus. Today I'm here with Darren, who's a dietitian. So, Darren, tell me more about yourself. What's your background?
So I've been a dietitian for 15 years now. I got into it in a bit of the background route. I went through sports science as an undergraduate degree, didn't know what dietitians were, but always had an interest in the nutrition side. So came across dietitians and followed through with that. So that was another couple of years training. I started working in Norwich after qualifying and slowly moved through different specialties before CF came up as one, and I was covering maternity leave and just thought I'll give it a go. It's only a day a week, let's see what it's like. And Norwich was a smaller CF unit, only around 60 people I think at that point, but it was a good intro to see the area I wanted to work in, the fact that you got to know the people with CF quite well, and it wasn't a quick turnaround of get to know somebody, they disappear and you're meeting somebody new. So that was what brought me into it, really.
Sounds like you've had quite a journey coming to where you are now. So what's your role in Grampus?
So in Grampus I've got two roles, one as an employed member of staff, and one as a student, which the data that we get from Grampus will help me get a qualification on a day-to-day basis. I'm still clinical on a Wednesday, so I still do my trained role that I've done for years and years on a Wednesday. So the people of Nottingham CF Centre will still see me around. The rest of the week, the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday on Grampus, I'm involved in helping organise the study. I've been part of the ethics amendments and creating that legal route of being able to recruit people with CF to the Grampus study, through to writing a guide on what we need to do once we're in the lab. So not quite what I was expecting, and not from my background, but something different and something new. And then going forward on a day-to-day basis, I'll be approaching people with CF in Nottingham, including the children's team who I don't know so much, to be part of the CF Grampus study.
Thanks. That sounds like a lot of hats you're wearing there. So what is something people with cystic fibrosis or people you work with often ask you about your role?
So one thing, not CF but outside of that, is everyone thinks a dietitian eats perfectly. There's no perfect diet. The best diet we'll always tell people is the Mediterranean diet, that eating whole foods cooked from scratch, plenty of fruits and vegetables, limited meat and a little bit of alcohol, and enjoying things. But most people think dietitians try and help people lose weight, and with something like CF we're often the opposite, trying to help people gain weight, helping people change their body composition. So that's something I have an interest in, but also managing the medications. People with CF will often have the enzymes that help them digest foods, and there's no hard and fast rule of how many creons somebody should take. Dietitians generally aren't taught how to manage that, but neither are doctors who do the prescription, so that's interesting. That's one of those things that falls between the cracks. People with CF will often say, how many creons should I take with whatever meal it is? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever works to take away somebody's symptoms.
That's really interesting, and I didn't realise dietitians had such a varied role. What is something you enjoy about working as a dietitian?
So it's, I think, working with people and seeing the person at the end of your advice getting a benefit. So I think I see a nutritionist point of view, they work on a broader scheme, sort of advising more groups, but from a dietitian's point of view, you're taking that love of food and that knowledge about food and translating it into something that helps somebody get over whatever it is. If somebody's got tummy symptoms, if somebody's got diabetes, if somebody's had surgery, and actually getting them from a point of not eating very much or not feeling very well, or having a new diagnosis, getting them through those stages and seeing what happens at the other side, and hopefully making them feel better and be healthier.
Great. That sounds like a lot of different people you're interacting with. What's something that's tough about working as a dietitian?
Not having the answers all the time. We make we try and give advice based on what is known, but sometimes it's not known. Exactly with Grampus, I guess. So that's what interests me. But I think not being able to give somebody an answer and people expecting miracles and quick fixes that we can just change the diet and things will get perfect, but that's not how life works. And food is complicated. We can't tell somebody to eat a certain food and that will cure all ills. That's just not the way our bodies work and the way food works.
I think we all wish it was that way, though. So what's a common misconception about your role? I think you touched on it earlier a little bit. But...
Yeah, so I think some things are that we're the food police. I think that's a term that comes up, and I had a role in the past working with people with kidney failure, so that was quite interesting that you were seen very much as the food police at that point, because there were certain foods they should try and avoid for the purpose of protecting their body. And dietitians, you could see the people who are attached to a machine filtering their blood and clearing all the toxins out of it, would see the dietitians walk on the ward and hide under covers or pretend to be asleep, because when you come in to talk to somebody about food and tell them not to have something, that's not good. But that's not what, as a dietitian, we try and do. Dietitians try and give people alternatives. You tell them that this food maybe isn't so good, but try and eat this one instead, and give them things that they can do that fit within their life.
Very nice, thank you. And then what is one message you'd give to someone who's interested in becoming a dietitian?
I think having that interest in food and wanting to help people get better from whatever that might be, and dietitians' roles are becoming more and more varied. There's the dietitians, I've given the explanation of somebody more in a clinical role, but more and more dietitians go and work in the industry now. So Slimming World, for example, have dietitians working for them and advising on the sort of diets that people should have. I follow people on social media who work in the police and the army and in prison services. So the dietitian's role is very varied, and I think if you have an interest in food and how that affects health, then that's what people should follow if they're interested in.
Thank you, Darren. It's been really interesting talking to you about what it's like in a day in your life. We hope you all tune in next week for the next episodes of Grampus Chats. See you next Friday.